They said I faked my experience. Said I wasn't qualified. That I embellished my resume. They didn't care that I led the project. Didn't check the recommendations. Didn't verify a thing, just dismissed me with a smirk. But instead of begging for another chance, I built the company they refused to hire me into. And when they found out who was stealing their clients, it was already too late. Stay until the final moment, because this isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about proving you were right all along. I had rehearsed every line. Pressed my shirt until it could cut glass. Walked into that glass building with a heart full of hope. And a folder full of proof. This was my shot. Not just at a job. At a life I had fought tooth and nail for. The interviewer barely looked at me. Didn't even shake my hand, just gestured to the chair. Let's go through your resume. I smiled. Gave him my best pitch. Told him about the startup I helped scale, the campaign I led, the clients I saved. He nodded like he was listening. But I knew he wasn't. 10 minutes in, he stopped me. This project at StratX, you were a project lead? Yes, I said. Unofficially. The title was junior, but I ran the team under the manager's supervision. He smirked. So, not a lead, then. Something in my stomach dropped. And this budget figure, did you manage it, or were you just aware of it? I helped control it. I didn't sign off on it. So again. Not quite as it appears. He leaned back. Then the dagger. We've had trouble verifying a few of these details. It almost feels like you're padding your experience. Padding. Padding. Like the years I spent staying late. Like the weekends I spent building what others took credit for. Like the fact that I had to fight for every promotion I never got. I left that interview in silence. No thank you. No feedback. Just a rejection email 3 hours later. We will not be moving forward at this time. They didn't see a candidate. They saw a liar. But what they missed was that I wasn't just selling a resume. I was offering a future. It wasn't just the interview. It was the aftermath. Everywhere I applied, the same story repeated. We've tried contacting your previous employers and universities. Unfortunately, we couldn't verify some of your credentials. What they didn't know was that one of my previous companies had closed abruptly. Records were lost. Emails bounced. And my university? I had graduated from an online program that was well respected but not accredited in their country. My name was flagged. My applications were shelved. My calls went unanswered. I became the person who overstated experience, exaggerated achievements, wasn't transparent. But I knew the truth. I knew the work I had done. I knew the results I delivered. And most importantly, I knew that if they couldn't see my past, I'd have to build my future. One night, I got a message from an old colleague, Mark. Don't let them define you. You're better than this. If no one else believes in you, believe in yourself. That message was the spark I needed. I decided. If the world wouldn't let me in their door, I'd build my own. It's one thing to be rejected. It's another to be erased. By the 3rd month, I stopped counting rejections. My inbox was full of polite unfortunate lies. LinkedIn messages read but never replied. And my phone rang only for reminders, bills, not opportunities. I tried freelancing. No one wanted to work with someone unverified. I offered to work for free, just to prove myself. Silence. I applied to warehouse jobs. Delivery driver roles. Anything that would pay rent. But every time I filled out a new application, I couldn't escape the question in my head. Why am I begging for a chance, when I've already done the job better than half of them? I wasn't angry anymore. I was numb. Then one night, my power went out. Late bill. I lit a candle. Sat in the dark. Opened my old notebook, the one where I used to sketch app ideas, brand names, business models. On one page I had written, a year ago. If I ever build something, it won't just be a company. It'll be a statement. That sentence hit me different now. Because I had nothing left to lose. That was the night I started planning my company. Not out of ambition, but out of survival. I didn't have investors. I didn't have a mentor. Hell, I didn't even have a decent laptop. But I had Google. I had time. And I had rage-fueled clarity. I devoured tutorials. Marketing funnels. Sales psychology. Bootstrapping. Legal registration for startups. UX/UI design for non-designers. No-code development tools. I learned how to build a landing page before I learned how to sleep again. Every time I felt the ache of being called a fraud, I poured it into building something real. Every time someone ghosted me, I added another page to the site, another line of code, another cold DM. Mistakes? Thousands. I lost $300 on a mentor that ghosted me. I launched too early, twice. I hired a designer who used stolen assets. I bought an email list that got me blacklisted. Each failure stung, but I didn't stop. Because I didn't just want to succeed. I wanted to be undeniable. The turning point? A Reddit post. I shared a raw, honest story about how I was building a tool for freelancers who were sick of getting ghosted by clients. It blew up. Comments flooded in. One message said, "Let me know when you launch. I'd pay for this." I replied, "I'm launching next week." I wasn't. But I would be. Because now, I had something no one could take away. Momentum. His name was Tyler. He found me through that Reddit post and sent a DM. "Hey, saw your tool. Looks like exactly what I need. Can I get a trial?" I stared at the message like it might vanish. I had no payment system. No contract. No clue what to charge. But I wasn't about to let this slip. I replied, "Sure. Let's jump on a quick call." I didn't sleep the night before. Practiced my pitch 12 times. Wore a blazer. Even though it was Zoom. Tyler was a motion designer with a small agency. He had been stiffed by 2 clients in the past year. Said his team needed a way to secure deposits, track client activity, and automate follow-ups. Everything I had been building. But only halfway done. So I made a choice. I lied, again. Only this time, it was a strategic risk. "Yes, the tool's ready. I'll onboard you this Friday." That gave me 4 days to finish what would normally take 4 weeks. I didn't eat. Didn't shower. Just coded, tested, broke things, fixed them. I pulled favors from every old contact I had. Borrowed $200 to upgrade my server. Wrote a user manual at 3 a.m. And on Friday? It launched. Messy. Minimal. But real. Tyler paid me $49 per month. The first dollar I made that no one could discredit. When he emailed me a week later saying, "Dude, you saved my business." I cried. Because for the first time since getting blacklisted, I felt seen again. That was the moment I stopped building to prove others wrong. I started building to serve people like me. After Tyler came Anna. Then Malik. Then a marketing agency in Austin that brought in 6 users at once. All word of mouth. All people tired of being doubted, dismissed, and disrespected. I realized something. I wasn't just building a tool. I was building a community of the overlooked. The undercredited. The self-taught. The misjudged. People like me, who got their resumes tossed because they didn't have the right background. I needed a name that told that story. Not something sleek and corporate. Something that hit. I wrote down 100 ideas. Crossed out 99. One stuck. Proof. That was it. No fluff. No pretense. Just one word. Proof, because no one should have to beg for what they've already earned. I bought the domain. Designed the logo myself, a red dot next to the word. A symbol for those of us who always felt like an asterisk at the end of someone else's success story. But not anymore. Now we were the headline. And with that name, came something else. Pride. I stopped pitching like I was asking for permission. I started selling like I was offering a revolution. My story went viral again, this time on LinkedIn. Over 10,000 reactions. 50,000 views. Investors started DMing me. But I wasn't ready to sell. Because for once, I owned something too real to risk watering down. I wasn't just correcting the record. I was rewriting it, under my own name. Proof was working. But I wanted more than working. I wanted it to be undeniable. I combed through every bit of feedback from my early users. Could it auto-generate invoices? Can I get a signed contract from the client before we start? It'd be cool if clients couldn't ghost after project delivery. I saw the pattern. Trust. That's what everyone wanted. Not features, confidence. Protection. Proof. So I built proof contracts. Pre-filled, legally binding templates. Clients couldn't proceed without signing. It auto-inserted their name, project scope, and payment milestones. Then I added Proof Vault, a digital ledger tracking every file exchange and deadline. No more, he said, she said. Everything timestamped. Everything stored. Then came the one feature that changed everything. The Proof Score. A trust rating for clients based on past projects. Like a credit score, but for how well they treat freelancers. It was bold. Controversial. And exactly what the industry needed. Launch day? Explosive. My site crashed. Stripe froze my account from the volume of subscriptions. Tech blogs picked it up. Proof trended on Product Hunt. Suddenly, I wasn't a blacklisted job seeker anymore. I was a founder with a waitlist. And the best part? One of the companies that had called me a liar? They reached out. We're interested in discussing a partnership. I didn't even reply. Because now, they weren't on my level. You know how poetic life can be? The same people who dismissed you eventually line up at your door. It started with emails. We've been following Proof's success. Would love to explore potential synergies. Is your team open to acquisition talks? These were the companies that once couldn't verify my background. That laughed behind closed doors about resume inflation. The same ones that told their HR departments to blacklist me. Now? They wanted to collaborate. One of the recruiters even reached out directly. The exact person who had ghosted me after the third round of interviews a year ago. Hey, not sure if you remember me, I remembered. They wanted access to my API. Licensing deals. Referrals. Some even offered jobs, under me. Imagine that. The guy who lied on his resume. Being asked to lead departments at the companies that called him unqualified. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. I said, you can apply through our freelancer portal. All our partners get rated. Let them earn a proof score. Let them prove themselves. But one message stood out. A senior VP, someone who had publicly mocked my early LinkedIn post, sent me this. I underestimated you. The industry did. You've built something remarkable. If you ever raise funding, I'd love a seat at the table. I forwarded it to my co-founder. We both laughed. Because I wasn't building tables for them anymore. I was building them for the people who never got invited to sit. Some people get legacy handed to them. A last name. A trust fund. A warm intro from someone in power. I got none of that. Just rejection. Doubt. And a fire I didn't ask for, but couldn't ignore. Proof was growing faster than I imagined. 10,000 users. Over $1 million in ARR. A full-time team of 12, all remote, all self-taught, all resume misfits like me. But more than numbers, it was the messages. From single moms who finally got paid on time. From junior designers landing big gigs because their proof score helped them stand out. From burned out freelancers finally feeling safe again. We weren't just disrupting an industry. We were healing people it had harmed. I started getting invited to speak. Podcasts. Panels. Universities that had rejected me were now asking me to talk to their students about entrepreneurship. The irony was delicious. But I didn't go there to gloat. I went to tell the kids in the back row. The ones who didn't feel seen. That they weren't broken. They were just building outside the system. Legacy isn't about revenge. It's about leaving something behind that outlives you. Proof wasn't just my clapback. It was my contribution. I haven't updated my resume in years. Not because I'm lazy. But because I don't need it anymore. The resume they doubted? The credentials they disqualified? The boxes I didn't tick? They don't matter now. Now, my work speaks louder. Every user testimonial. Every team member who got their first real paycheck through Proof. Every startup founder who reached out saying, your story gave me permission to start. That's my resume now. And funny enough? When investors ask for my background, I just send them this. A screenshot of Proof's dashboard. Revenue. Retention. Impact. That's all they need. No cover letter. No GPA. No relevant experience. Just results. The world tried to define me by the data I didn't have. No Ivy League. No top-tier internships. No big-name references. So I created my own data. Proof that people like me aren't broken. We're just misfiled. And maybe, just maybe, we're the ones meant to build the future. Not fit into someone else's past. So next time they say, you don't have the right background, just remember, you don't need one. You only need a forward.